that's true, I'm a software engineer. But what does that mean? You may have just guessed where I'm from. But could you tell what my job really is? I found it always challenging to really talk about it in a simple and compelling way, because I guess you may feel the same. I mean, explaining UX, head of innovation, to your full family must not be easy either, right? And those job titles like software engineer, product owner, growth specialist, product manager, they don't really say anything about why we do what we do, right? What we struggle with every day, and what makes our hearts sing. My mom never got it for 20 years what I was doing, all alone in a room, excited in front of a laptop. Until one day, all of a sudden, something unexpected happened. It was 7 a.m. on the 17th of May, 2023, and my parents were still sleeping. They got woken up by a very loud sound of a crash, and their house shook, so they got really scared, and they ran out onto the street. This is what they saw. The yellow house on the right, that's where I grew up. And our garden, you don't see it, right? It's entirely destroyed. Luckily, my parents were not there because it was 7 a.m. And the 2 first floors were now underground. So much mud, nature, trees, rocks fell from that property above, our neighbors. Their house is also damaged. You see partly the foundations now. So police came, immediately declared both those houses dangerous, condemned. They said to my parents, who are around 70 years old, please leave, it's dangerous, sleep somewhere else. But where and how long? Well, today, 11 months later, we are stuck. We still don't know whether my parents or anyone will be able to live in this, our house, ever again. Why did all of this happen? What do you think? Can anyone make some guess?
Climate change.
Mm-hmm. Climate change, I think, could go in the right direction, because back then there were heavy rains. It was on the media in Emilia-Romagna, our region, for days continuously. But I think this was just a trigger. There are 2 main factors that played really a big role. First, our neighbors did not install safety net. Even after smaller episodes of this kind happened in the past, they would have prevented the rocks and trees from falling. But especially, they did not take care of their property regularly. They did not cut trees that became very tall and heavy. And as the soil became mud due to the rains, those trees with the weight and the huge roots, they pulled down everything that fell. Now, why did I tell you this personal story today? Because houses and, guess what? Software share really a lot, commonalities and threats. So if you own a software product and you don't take care of it regularly, you postpone, ignore the chores. If you take shortcuts while you build because you are in a rush to deliver, right? You are building technical debt. And this technical debt becomes, one day, I promise, financial debt. And it worries me, because it will probably endanger the prosperity of your business. So that's why today I want to talk about the importance of continuous invest in making software safe and limiting that technical debt. How does that work? It's easy, don't worry. We need to build safe software as of the very start of a project. Today, now, imagine that we are here together to build your new software product. Let's look at the 3 main build phases, and let's use the analogy of building houses. We start from the foundations. As architects interview you about your wishes and needs, how you want your dream house to look like and function, the civil engineers, they go on site and they test the ground. They want to know that what you want to build and how you want to build it is possible on that area that you choose, right? And so do we as software engineers. We build ugly but technical, functional prototypes as of the very start. They help us to work hands-on with your data, with your technology, and with your constraints as of the start. We want to really limit all the potential surprises or blockers down the road. We also invest in software architecture because we want to build software that holds. It cannot collapse like that wall, right, in the garden, when we are later requested to extend it many, many, many times. That's why we invest in picking appropriate tech stack frameworks. We think of scalability, modularity. We apply good software design principles. So now, as the foundations are set, the construction starts, brick by brick, right? And a construction company does not build all the bricks, all the windows, the tiles. They buy them, right? With software, it's very similar. We use software modules that are existing, so someone else has already written them. This makes us faster, but we want to be careful that we don't want to inject malicious code into your software. So that's why we assess really how popular those modules are, who wrote them, and we follow regularly the updates and the vision of these authors. This guarantees quality, and it's a first security measure. Now, as the workers build all the walls, the floor, the roofs, the engineers craft those systems that are really unique and tailored on your needs. Think in a house of all the heating. Do you want it under the floor or at the wall? Pipes, electricity, domotics. How often do you want to water your plants, or what kind of plants do you have, right? This unique aspect tailored to your case exists in software too. It's called business logic. This is the part of software that we cannot really copy. We cannot use ready modules for it because it's super tailored to your case, right? We have to write it. It's kind of the brain of the application because it solves that specific problem that your business or your software is meant to solve. So as we write custom code, we may also make mistakes because we are human. And actually, nowadays, to err is not anymore only human, because ChatGPT and AI are very far from writing error-free, perfect code. Yes, I'm really into software errors. My colleagues call me Miss Errors. Yes, doesn't sound too good at the start, but I find it fascinating, because errors in software don't occur only due to our mistakes as software engineers. Let's have a look. I'm almost sure that almost all of you experienced some failure during online shopping because credit card payment failed. And later, you had to fill an entire form again with all the data, your address, name, credit card details, a lot of things. You were pretty annoyed, right? Let's take another example. You are about to connect to your next dream job interview. It's an online call in 1 minute, so you're already nervous, right? And yeah, you open Microsoft Teams, and it shows this. Oh, we are very sorry. There is a technical problem right now. Please try to log out and log in again. You do everything, nothing works. You're shaking, getting scared, and I mean, it's totally scary, stressful. I get it. Please think. There are errors that are even worse than those. They are these. These that happens silently. No one knows about them, neither the users nor the engineers. They are the most dangerous. Because think if they happen in an application that the user needs to use to take important decisions, looking at data like dashboard, metrics. What happens if a silent error occurred and the data is incomplete or wrong? Your users are going to take a bad or maybe wrong decision. So in software, as in buildings, we have different kinds of threats. They could be external or internal. They could also originate by user action or circumstances that you don't have control of. But you always do have control over how robust you build your software, right? In houses, we install smoke detector sensors, fire doors, emergency exits, earthquake alert system. So we do it in software as well. We need such system to prevent that a dangerous faulty situation would propagate and perhaps erase or corrupt all your users' data or block your users in their journey, in their path. This is an example of such a system that I built for our business team at Ginetta. It lets them know immediately over Slack whether an invoice that they create is not complete or not compliant with our system and our guidelines. We want exactly to avoid those silent failures, because we would otherwise put our accountant into troubles if some income would be missing or wrong VAT values would end up in their system. Now the house is built, almost ready, right? We are going to decorate it, get the keys of that, and enjoy it. So let's celebrate and throw an awesome housewarming party. You are going to spend probably all the rest of your money, right, of your savings, because the project is over. We are done. So since we are done, I can leave. You don't need me anymore, right? No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just now curious to know from you. You built your dream house. Now, how would you secure it? Would you pick a traditional physical lock system and keys, or would you opt for a smart lock that allows you to maybe allow guests in while you are traveling or working, or you enter your house even hands-free or keys-free, carrying your grocery? So please raise your hand if you would pick a traditional system with lock and keys. Okay. Does anyone want to share why, the reasoning, the preference? For example, yeah, someone brave.
Familiarity with the app.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not familiar with it, so I would go just with the traditional one.
Okay, some other idea, something different that you thought?
We are verified more, so we are into we are used to.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a matter of habits.
Okay.
A sense of control.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And someone who picked a smart lock, any thought, or even maybe fears, although you picked it?
It's convenient.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. It's very interesting that no one is thinking of security concerns. I would be honestly scared at first of people hacking my smart lock, because, I mean, in Switzerland last year, we observed 61% cyber attacks to our businesses, small, medium, and large, compared to the previous year. I mean, when I read this on the media, I don't sleep well with the smart lock. But wait a minute. Why do these attacks happen if we build safe software? I mean, I talked 5 minutes about the best practices, and I trust that Switzerland has great software engineers. What happened that the hackers can hack it? 61% more, right? Well, the thing is, software stays safe for a very short amount of time, because hackers are at home and they can insist 24/7 anywhere in the world to try to attack your software, which is online. And they will eventually find the weaknesses and the vulnerability. So that's the moment when your smart lock becomes vulnerable. And you stop sleeping well or sleeping at all, right, when you hear about this news. And this could happen even shortly after you moved in a house, or even you didn't move in at all. It could happen in a matter of days after you really write code. So there is a good news, though. You're still able to enjoy the convenience of smart locks and technology, and at the same time feel safe at home and with the product that you build. We just need to keep the software safe after that we build it, right? And the not so wise move was spending all your money for a party, because we got some more work to do. We need resources, time, budget for your software engineers to do maintenance tasks. First and foremost, the engineers will update the software modules, the bricks that they use to build, because the author of those modules, they release always updates with not only bug fixes, performance improvements, also the fixes and the patches to these vulnerabilities that the hackers found. This is how you establish security and you feel safe again in your house or with the product that you are investing in. The software engineers also will monitor those error detection systems and reports that they build, because they want to know what kind of faulty situation occur in your application, and they want to react on that and limit them to the very minimum. So we start with maintenance tasks as of the start of a project, as we start writing the first lines of codes. And we advise to do this once a month. Now you may wonder, until when? Well, as long as the software is up and running, you don't really stop, because the hackers don't stop either. They are at home and they like their job. They don't quit. So now, thinking back of my personal story of the start, if our neighbors were to own a software product rather than a house, what advice would we give them? We would teach them what technical debt is and the risks that come with that. We would advise for a mindset shift and to install regular habits to really think and make the software safe continuously and limiting that technical debt. In practical terms, we learn today, this means really test the ground and invest in software architecture as of the start, and pick software modules that you can trust. Also build error detection systems and monitoring systems. Once you are done building, keep the software safe. Keep some budget for your engineers to really update the software and monitor those error systems that they build. Now, who is on board with me to build software that will last thousands of years? Because if buildings do, why wooden software?